video is to provide you with a few examples to convert from degrees to radians and converting from radians to degrees. So as we did in the last video, please try to set up a proportion for each of these where you do pi over 180 or 2 pi over 360, depending on what your teacher wants you to do. So pi over 180 equals x over your number of degrees or the number of radians over x. So please pause the video and try this. I'm going to go ahead and upload the answers in a second. Okay, now that you've tried it, I'm going to go ahead and give you the answers, and then I'll work through the problems. If you get them all right, you got it. Don't need to watch it. 225 pi over 4. 225 degrees is 5 pi over 4. 330 degrees is 11 pi over 6. 150 degrees is 5 pi over 6, and 45 degrees is pi over 4. On the other end, 3 pi over 4 is 135 degrees. 7 pi over 6 is, 210 degrees. 4 pi over 3 is 240 degrees. And pi over 2 represents 90 degrees. So if you got all those right, great job. Otherwise, let's go ahead and try these. So remember, I want to set up a proportion. So I'm going to do, in this case, if I'm going from degrees to radians, I'm going to do 225 degrees over some unknown is equal to 180 over pi. You'll notice it's a little bit different how I did in the video. That's before, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. As long as in both cases my degrees are on the top or in the same part of it, and my radians are in the bottom. So here, my radians are both in the bottom, my degrees are both in the top. I could have just as easily flipped that. I could put both my degrees in the bottom, both my radians in the top, as long as they line up with each other. So when I cross multiply, I get 225 pi is equal to 180 times x. And if I divide both sides by 180, I come up with x is equal to 5 pi over 4, which is my answer. All right, see that I'm probably not going to have enough room here to do the next one, so I'm going to go ahead and erase this. And you can see how we got that answer. Okay, for the next one, 330 degrees is equal to 11 pi over 6. The way that we find that is we do 330 over x is equal to 180 over pi. Notice the degrees line up and the radians line up. When I cross multiply, I get 330 times pi is equal to 180 times x. Divide both sides by 180. I get x is equal to 330 pi over 180. These cross out. The zeros, both 33 and 18, are divisible by 3. So this reduces to our answer of 11 pi over 6. All right, I'm not going to do the last two. I think that that's something that after doing the first ones, you should be able to try to figure out on your own. Converting from radians to degrees, exact same process. So here I'm going to do 3 pi over 4 over 180 is equal to pi, oh wait, I'm sorry, I messed up. Let me take that back. So 3 pi over 4 over x, because x is our unknown, is equal to pi over 180. Once again, I'm going to cross multiply in order to solve this. So I would get 3 pi over 4 times 180 is equal to pi times x. Well, if I divide both sides by pi, I can see that these cross out, and I'm left with x is equal to 3/4 times 180. 180 is the same thing as 180 over 1. With fractions, you multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom. So this becomes 540 over 4 is equal to x. And this leads us to the answer, x is equal to 135 degrees. Gonna go ahead and try just one more, hopefully give you one more example. Erase all that there. So the next one, I'm gonna go ahead and jump down to this one, this 4 pi over 3. So if I want to convert from 4 pi over 3 to degrees, I do 4 pi over 3 over x is equal to pi over 180. So I'm just going to emphasize this one more time, make sure it really sticks in. Notice how on the left side of my equation, both of these things are either given to us in the problem or the unknown. On the right side of the equation, my pi and my 180 are equal to each other. In terms of pi radians is 180 degrees. I also want you to notice how in both cases in the top here, I have radians. And in the bottom, I have degrees. So what I'm going to do is, once again, I'm going to cross multiply, and I'm going to find that pi times x is equal to 180 times 4/3 pi. Again, my pi's are going to disappear, and I'm left with x is equal to 4/3 of 180. 180 is the same as 180 over 1. When you multiply straight across the top, you get 720 over 3 is equal to x, which leads us to our answer of 240.